There's a bait that's won a lot of money in my region, and as a matter of fact, it won a Bass Open Championship just a few years back in Alabama. I've been throwing this bait for a lot of years myself, and let me tell you, it may look like a jerkbait, but you don't want to do that. From the time those bass pull up and start staging until they are garden fry, they cannot stand this bait over their heads. There's a lot of companies that tried to copy this bait and its action, but don't be fooled, this outperforms them all. Hey, BassGeek here, and on this channel we talk about new baits and techniques that are going to help you catch more fish and have a damn good time doing it. We're all about fun here. This is a non-controversy channel. It's all about fishing and catching more fish. Now, when we talk about more baits and techniques, this is what we're talking about. This is a long A from Bomber, and we've been using it for years. It has won a lot of money around here. It has also won a lot of money on other lakes. The smallmouth hate this bait, but they love it too, if you know what I mean. But don't be fooled, it catches largemouth, smallmouth, and spots. But I don't know what it is about this bait and smallmouth that seem to drive those smallmouth crazy. Now, a lot of people will tell you that you only need one color, and that's bone. But I have to heavily disagree with that. Now, this color right here, I'm going to be honest with you, I have had it for years. I don't even know what it is, but this has probably outproduced bone for a very long time. Now, a little bit about the long A. It may look like a jerkbait, but that's not really how we use this bait. It's really not how this bait it shines at all. Now, I will put links in the description for these baits, and this time it won't be to Tackle Warehouse, it'll be to LureNet, which is Bomber's kind of home website. I don't think Tackle Warehouse carries the long A's anymore, but I know on LureNet there is so many colors that it's unbelievable in this. And really, the way I'm gonna show you how to fish it, the only thing that matters truly is the bottom of the baits. And you'll notice immediately what I like about this one is it's got a little bit of orange and it's got a little bit of chartreuse on it. Now here's another great color because these are gonna roll. It's got a little bit of chrome on the side, and again, got that chartreuse belly. Now, it's got that orange head too. And again, I don't know what the color is. You guys have got to forgive me. I've had these for a minute. Something that I do want to tell you is I do like to change the hooks on these. Some of them come with, you know, the galvanized hooks. Like those are like saltwater hooks, but I recommend changing them. They dull up pretty fast. But just a few more examples, and I mean, I couldn't tell you how many of these I have. I have a ton of them. This is called Mother of Pearl. A good pearl white, always a good thing. This is Crazy Crush. They've even got some that has a reflective center in it. This is called Chartreuse Flash Blue Back. So we're going to talk about rigging this. There's no need to tie a loop knot. There's no need to do anything special. So we're just going to tie the good old pit seam. Just use your favorite knot or a San Diego jam. Those are the two that I tie most of the time. Let me show you how to tie a pit seam real quick. Come through the eyelet. Now I will say this is one bait I do not recommend any extra weight on the front. Don't put a snap swivel on because it takes a little bit of work to fish this bait the way I'm going to show you how to fish it. Just double it up. About 5 to 7 times. Back through that top loop. Pull down. And then cinch it down. And the tag in, and you're ready to go. So when it comes to throwing this bait, they are light, and you're going to want to make a long cast with them. This is the perfect setup for that. This is the Cashin Element Z2. This is the second version of the Element. It's completely redesigned, 100% made in America, blank and all. And you're gonna get this, I believe this rod goes for 130 bucks. So a 100% made in America rod for 130 bucks. Geeks, if y'all ain't out there checking this out, y'all crazy. It is incredible. Now, it is a 7'1" medium light, fast action. This thing will cast this long A, literally a country mile. I've got that teamed up with a Pflueger President Series reel. Guys, I love what they've done to the President Series. They've kind of made them a little more compact, a little more light, and big fan of this reel right here. One of the times that I'm not going to use K9 is right now, because I like this as a topwater. Now, you could use it with some of the K9 braid if you like the braid, and if you like that, there's a 10% discount offer right here. But I'm going to use monofilament to keep this bait up, and I'll use 12 to 14 pound test. That seems to be the sweet spot to help keep the bait up, because it takes a little bit of getting used to. This bait is designed to dive, so you have to work it correctly to keep it up. And by the way, treat yourself. I've got links to this on Amazon, not sponsored by these companies. This is just something, man, you can get them for a heck of a lot cheaper on Amazon. They're the same exact ones everybody wants to stamp a logo on and charge you 3 times for them. I've been using them for years. They're incredible. So when we talk about fishing this in the spring, from pre-spawn to post-spawn, basically you're going to throw it in those areas where the bass are going to be staging. They're going to be pulling up in pre-spawn to start thinking about putting their beds there. You know, they may not be right on the beds, but it's going to be in those areas where it's leading in. It's for largemouth, it's going to be those pockets. For smallmouth, it's going to be those steeper banks, and they may already be paired up and just kind of in that area. This thing will help you find them. Believe it or not, running it over their head real slow when they're on the beds will get them to come up and bite. Then in the post spawn, when those males are still guarding fry, they're going to come up and destroy this bait as you run it through those fry. Not to even mention those big females that are going to be out there beginning to recover, and they may be in a tree or suspended on some cover or structure, and you just work this across like a dying shad as it comes across the top of the water column. It gets crushed. Now, it really does take a little bit of work. You're not just going to throw this out here and start reeling it. It is a very slow, very subtle bait. It's not some bait, really, in my opinion, that you're going to cover a whole lot of water with. You're going to pick apart cover and structure with it. Now, for me, I'll make a long cast, let it sit, because once it hits the water, it's going to submerge. You want it to come up. You're going to keep that rod tip high, and you're going to start reeling. You'll find that there is a sweet spot when the bait is far away that will help you keep that bait up. So there'll come a point in the retrieve about halfway back where you're going to have to start dropping that rod tip, because if you lift it up too much or you keep it up too high too long, you're lifting the head out and the bill's not doing its job to get that wake action. As far as setting the hook goes, it's like any topwater bait. You're just going to kind of side set that. It's got treble hooks on it. Make sure that you're working it. You get that bass to the boat, get the net out, have a buddy net it. You know, don't boat hop it. Don't try and land it on a thumb. A lot of treble hooks, and if you replace them, they're going to be some really good, really sharp treble hooks. This bait is incredible in the spring at the right times. And like I said, for me, it's going to be mainly pre-spawn and post-spawn. This little bait can catch you some big old bass. Hey, something else on LureNet make sure you use my 15% off code right here. You get anything you buy from Booyah, from Bomber, from Norman, from War Eagle, 15% off anytime. Make sure you use that code. There's a ton of stuff. Bandit, ton of stuff. Bobby Garland, like I said, ton of stuff, 15% off, use that code. Now, just so you geeks know, on the homepage, on the BassGeek homepage, I have a section of playlists that organize winter, pre-spawn, spawn, post-spawn, summer, and fall. So you can go down any time of year and look up what you need to know. So playlists for every single one of them. And if you want to learn a little more about post-spawn fishing, make sure you go check out this video right here. Otherwise, questions and comments in the comment section below. You geeks know I love to talk fishing with you. Like it if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you ring that bell so that you get these notifications when these videos come out. Be part of that 100% Watch Squad. Geeks, we need you more than ever. We love you. And you geeks rock.